You can't have a large body of your student population be listed as honors. Because if they're not really honors and you're following the pacing of an actual honors class, and technically even thinking of honors and enrichment, I shouldn't even be using 8th grade standards. I can use 8th grade standards because they're going to be tested on the 8th grade standards at the end of the year, assuming we will have tests this year, which is a major assumption. They technically should be not only ready to prove that they've mastered 8th grade standards, but I should be able to very comfortably teach 9th grade standards. Or bounce back and forth in between. Find that sweet spot, right? Inconsistently, if I'm teaching 8th grade standards, it should be mostly on Webb's depth of knowledge, a level 4. I guarantee you, because I've already met some of these students as we've just started the school year, and I've seen some of these students' academic records, I've seen some of these students' work. It's not honors. In order to have a class full of authentic rigor, you've got to have kids who have proven to be ready for that level of work, that level of instruction, that level of independence. That's what has to happen. But when you allow parental influence to dictate the structure of your classes and courses, bad things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. There's going to be student complaints, parent complaints. This is too difficult. Why is he going so fast? Why do we have to do all of this? And maybe they won't. And they'll just bite the bullet and grunt through it, which is perfectly fine. But if we honestly have 3 classes, 3 honors classes for our virtual school, then this will work out great. But there's no way you go from 1 class to 3 classes in less than a week, and the kids have barely done any work yet. They haven't accessed any of the actual standards yet. But because of parental pressure and the fact that the district doesn't want to stand on any solid ground, it allows them to be pushed around, which directly impacts your teachers and your students. Because if you have a student that's vying to be in an honors course, but they didn't make it, then that directly impacts in a positive way. Do the research. It impacts the standard classes. Even actual standard students who aren't even thinking about honors, never been in honors, are positively impacted by students who work at a higher cognitive level than their own, who have a different work ethic than their own. That's the other thing too. If we're going to go from 1 to 3 honors courses in 8th grade in the virtual school, then I better be impressed. Because I could teach standard, I could teach honors, I could teach gifted, I could teach high school, I could teach college. I could teach elementary, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare. I don't have the personality for it. This is interesting. So, I'm not upset. I do disagree. And for school leaders out there, you got to stand up for something. You got to have some type of academic integrity, and you can't water down your honors classes. You can't. Because I don't want any educator to feel that they're not doing their job because they have a class full of kids who don't belong in that particular class. Do we want them to belong? Yes. Do we have high expectations for all of our students? Of course. But when you're playing the honors game, you have to have students who have proven they belong in the honors class. It can't be a hunch. It can't be based on political and social capital in the community your district serves in. That's why I've said before, I've said many a times, once I become a school leader, it is going to be for a short stint. Unless I have supportive administration behind me, a school board behind me that's thoroughly ready to shake the status quo. Because nothing I will do will be orthodox and stereotypical. Quite the opposite. Remember, I've been in education for 10 years. I still feel like an outsider at times. So how do you think, if my teaching career has gone the way it's gone, which has been successful, that's an annoying sound, how do you think my school leadership career is going to go? That's so annoying. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm anti-status quo in education. I'm anti-status quo in society. I'm here so all students are able to be successful and fully access an education that's equitable, and that's going to significantly enhance their lives. That's why I do what I do. I'm disappointed more than anything. And when you have a district that folds to parent or parental pressures, that lets you know something's off about leadership in that particular district. And that affects employee morale. Just like Terrence's English teacher said about the same issue. There's no way at Oak Park they should have 60% plus in honors. It's a jaded system. It robs the standard classes of students who should actually be in standard, but who have a different work ethic, or some students actually just do really well on certain assessments at times. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not here for it. I don't like it. And every day I am, whether it's in my own life or the experience I hear from you guys, or things I see in the news, comments I see on social media, I'm reminded of my purpose. I'm reminded what needs to be done in education, and I'm reminded I'm reminded of the lack of purposeful, transformational servant leaders we have in K through 12. I could go more in depth with that, but I am going to stop right there before I say something that I mean, but doesn't need to be said. What's understood, we don't have to explicitly state a thing.